So today we're reading from the language of letting go. I hope everybody's fine. Peace, light, and love. And interesting. So I'm going to read two. One of them is lessons on the job. Often, the spiritual and recovery lessons we're learning at work reflect the lessons we're learning in other areas of our life. Often, the systems we attracted to in our working life are similar to the system in which we find ourselves living and loving. Those are the systems that reflect our issues and can help us learn our lessons. Are we slowly learning to trust ourselves at work? How about at home? Are we slowly learning to take care of ourselves at work? How about at home? Are we slowly learning boundaries of self-esteem, overcoming fear, and dealing with feelings? If we search back over our work history, we will probably see that it's a mirror of our issues. Whew, that's so true. Our growth, and is most likely now too. For today, we can believe that we are right where we need to be, at home and at work. Today, I will accept my present circumstances on the job. I will reflect on how what I'm learning in my life applies to what I'm learning at work. If I don't know, I will surrender to the experience until that becomes clear. God, help me accept the work I have been given to today. Help me be open and to learn what I need to be learning. Help me trust that it can and will be good. Wow, that's so deep. So, what I take from this reading is that we are where we're supposed to be. And if we stop fighting, maybe we can learn something out of that experience. Surrendering is not really a bad thing, because sometimes I think about the past. If you fight something, the resistance sometimes just makes you weaker because you lose energy. Some things you cannot change, and you have to accept what you cannot change and to try to change what you can. And the wisdom to know the difference is the wisdom we need to practice. It's not something that you're born with necessarily. So I'm going to read another reading about finding our own truth, which I find very true. We must each discover our own truth. It does not help us if those we love find their truth. They cannot give it to us. It does not help if someone we love knows a particular truth in our life. We must discover our truth for ourselves. We must each discover and stand in our own light. We often need to struggle, fail, and be confused and frustrated. That's how we break through our struggle. That's how we learn what is true and right for ourselves. We can share information with others. Others can tell us what may predictably happen if we pursue a particular course, but it will not mean anything until we integrate the message and it becomes our truth, our discovery, our knowledge. There is no easy way to break through and find our truth, but we can and will if we want to. We may want to make it easier. We may nervously run to friends asking them to give us their truth or make our discovery easier. They cannot. Light will shed itself in its own time. Each of us has our own share of truth, waiting to reveal itself to us. Each of us has our own share of the light, waiting for us to stand in it, to claim it as ours. Encouragement helps. Support helps. A firm belief that each person has truth available, appropriate to each situation, is what will help. Each experience, each frustration, each situation has its own truth waiting to be revealed. Don't give up until you find it for yourself. We shall be guided into truth if we are seeking it, if we are not alone. We are not alone. Today, I will search for my own truth, and I will allow others to do the same. I will place value on my vision and the visions of others. We are each in the journey, making our own discoveries, the ones that are right for us today. So, today's been not a day that I'm very proud of. I did not do that much. Try to make bread, try to clean up, take care of the animals. And I find that I'm lacking energy a little bit today. I don't know why. And it's because I did a lot of reading of the media. And there's a really good channel I follow called Derech HaTov, The Way of the Good. And the woman there, she said today, I always forget her name. And she says today, don't, if something doesn't make you stronger, stay away from it. She said things either make you strong or make you weak. I find that sometimes the media floods me, and I don't really, because the media has its agenda. The people that write in the newspaper write about what's interesting for them. And sometimes I feel I have to be more selective about people, more selective about what I read, more selective about everything. So I think I really do need to find out what makes me stronger. And this is from this reading, that is the truth I get for today, is what does make you stronger? I think I know what makes me weaker. And unfortunately, I haven't been strong enough to avoid it. But certain people really have a bad influence on me. So, yesterday was my mother's death anniversary, and I wasn't sure. I wanted to check it. And when I thought about it, I certainly wasn't going to go to the cemetery in Corona time. I would have to take a bus, I would have to risk my health. I think, yes, exposing ourselves to people at this time is not a good idea, and it doesn't make sense. I don't think she would have wanted it. I think that she didn't do a good job to help me become a stronger person because she was really treating me like a helpless child too often. And when you have a child and you want them to be stronger, you have to know when it's time to let go, um, and not to be an overbearing mother, not to supply everything, and then because one day they're going to wake up. And also, what happens often, as it is in our families, there are different forces, and sadly, if you have like a parent that really takes care of you, or someone who takes care of you, when they pass away, all of a sudden you're faced with other relatives that don't really care about you. And if you recognize that, as I have had to, because you look at Hollywood movies especially and you say, wow, everybody has such nice families. So if you read the newspaper, like, wow, everybody has families, and only the elderly don't have families and they're alone, Holocaust survivors. That's not true. I believe there are a lot of people that, in theory, have families, but practically they don't really have people they can really have any sort of conversation with. And when money comes in, money is an issue, all of a sudden you find that these people just grab in a theft that should be illegal. I think there should be much more supervision over inheritance, and I think sadly there isn't enough supervision. And then you find out the character of a person when you are hit hard times. Somebody could be your best friend, but you can find out who your friends really are when you hit rock bottom. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about just being there for you. And then anyone who blames you, who sees you in a difficult situation and then blames you for that, without asking why, that's not what you need. When you hit hard times, when you have a difficult hour or day or week or year or whatever, you don't need somebody to say nasty things. Now, it can happen that somebody loses their temper one time, but if you see consistently that this person is only saying negative things to you, I remember my mom always made excuses. Oh, it's a sense of humor. Like about a certain family member that I don't want to mention because it doesn't make sense. It's not good for me. Also, somebody doesn't make you feel good consistently. I'm not talking about if they had a bad day, but they always say the wrong thing. You should remember a very good saying I recently discovered. When there is no love, no matter how hard you look, you're not going to find it. And when there is love, you cannot hide it. So if you don't feel compassion, you don't feel love, there's two possibilities. Either that person is like emotionally handicapped, or this person is emotionally handicapped. I don't know. It's like if somebody doesn't show you affection, doesn't show you compassion, it doesn't matter why. If their brain doesn't function, emotional, I don't know, they've been abused. I don't care why. They make you feel bad. Stay away from them. That's how I feel. And these are not easy times, especially since we're must face ourselves. There's no distractions so much because the screens are not a good distraction. When you go outside, you have a lot of illusion. Now I realize, I don't know about you, but what would you give up now that you've lived the corona isolation time? I would give up coffee shops because I realize it gives you an illusion that people are nice to you, they make coffee for you.